The desert Southwest. It may appear dry and lifeless, but actually, this is one of the richest life zones on Earth. The area's Sonoran Desert has the greatest diversity of flora of any of the world's deserts, with over 560 plant species. And talk about wildlife. 350 bird species, over 60 wild mammals, and a host of other critters call this place home. But humans also find the area desirable. Arizona is the fastest growing state in the country. With its mild temperatures and southwestern lifestyle, people come here from all over the world to work and play. In places like the greater Phoenix area, human settlement has not come without its price for native wildlife. Many of them have become unwitting victims of civilization's steady advance.
Since I grew up here, I've seen tremendous changes here in the valley, and it's been really devastating to see some of the most beautiful areas developed and bladed off, and with it has gone the wildlife.
As the desert's fragile habitat is either altered or destroyed, native wild animals are forced out of their homes. Many become injured or orphaned. When that happens, there's a good chance they will end up on the doorstep of the Southwest Wildlife Rehabilitation and Education Foundation near Scottsdale.
Most all the injuries that we see happen from direct or indirect impact with man. They're hit by cars, electrocutions, poisonings, lake hole traps. I wonder if anything broke. Displacement by development, getting trapped in things. So it's a constant battle, and so we see a lot of this in the urban areas.
Since 1994, Linda Searles and a corps of loyal volunteers have been devoted to one mission: the rescue, care, and rehabilitation of Arizona's wild animals that have felt the impact of development. And to meet the demand, area wildlife advocates have come together to help build a state-of-the-art facility that spans 10 acres.
They're a diverse group of people that all have one thing in common. They care about wildlife and they care about the environment. We have an on-site veterinary hospital here, full with a surgery suite and x-ray suite. And we have a wonderful group of veterinarians. The animal gets a second chance at survival.
Dr. Yael Burko is one of the volunteer veterinarians here whose skilled hands and gentle manner help give the desert's wounded wildlife that second chance.
I never expected to work with bobcats and mountain lions and bears, but it ended up being one of my favorite things, and so I come here at least once a week, and it's just part of my normal schedule. It's become part of my job. It's part of what makes it worth being a vet, because I do get to do a lot of things that are different. I get to work with a lot of different animals, and it's nice to be able to volunteer my services towards something that I feel is important.
Sure.
Whether it's a family of raccoons displaced by a shopping mall or a black bear injured in a forest fire, each animal admitted here receives specialized care and attention. 70% of them will eventually be set free to roam the desert once again. For the remaining animals, there are different paths.
The cougars could not be released back into the wild because they had been hand-raised in the different situations that they had previously been in. And the Mexican gray wolves were part of the recovery program.
The foundation is a sanctioned holding facility for Mexican gray wolves that are a part of the reintroduction program in the Southwest headed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. There is a strong emphasis on education here.
Oh, there you go.
Some of the wildlife at the facility have injuries that won't allow them to survive in the wild again, so they can't be released. But they are active participants in an educational role in what is perhaps the Foundation's most important mission. informing the public about the critical need of setting aside open spaces for wildlife.
Because we can save a lot of animals. We can rehab a lot of animals, and we can save endangered species and threatened species. But if we don't save the habitat, and if we don't save large enough chunks of that habitat to sustain them, then none of our efforts are doing us any good. So we need a lot more education.
Education is also vital when it comes to the subject of wild young. The Foundation cautions the public not to pick up baby wildlife, as the mother is probably close by. If the newborn is imprinted by humans, there may be a permanent separation.
We do see a lot of orphaned young, just about every species. We do get young almost every year. Just because of the nature of life in the wild, there are orphans. The fact that humans also interact with wildlife causes desertion.
As more and more of the Sonoran Desert habitat becomes fragmented and settled, more native wildlife will be displaced or injured. And the admissions here at the clinic will keep coming. For Linda Searles, her life's work of caring for wild animals and their habitat goes beyond an ideal. She sees a correlation between their survival and our own.
If all the plants and animals died off the face of the earth, man could not survive. So we need to put it in perspective that we need them, we need biodiversity in order to keep a healthy planet. And they'll certainly enrich our lives by having them around.